Representative Roy, thank you for your work in the fight to secure our border. And now I'd like to yield as much time as he will consume to my good friend from Virginia, Representative Bob Good.
Thank you to my friend, Mr. Clyde from Georgia, and from my friend from Texas, Mr. Roy, for speaking so effectively on this issue. You know, we cannot talk enough about the border. In my district, we just did a survey asking my constituents, what is the most important issue? What is the #1 issue facing the country? And it was overwhelming the southern border. They realize that is hundreds of miles from them geographically, but it's coming home to them in my very district in Bedford and Campbell counties, just outside greater Lynchburg, what are otherwise as peaceful and as safe places to live as any place in the country, both of who have recently had sexual assaults committed by illegal aliens allowed into this country. Wait, let me check myself. Helped into this country, purposefully helped into this country by this president and his open border policies. And it gets worse every day. We've spoken many times, and we need to continue to speak about Laken Riley, the young lady from your area of Georgia, brutally murdered by an illegal alien, helped into this country by this president's open border policies. And this administration, to what lengths will it go to keep the borders open? They're fighting the very state of Texas, who is trying to secure their own border, trying to defend their own citizens, and the administration is literally suing and fighting and challenging them and prohibiting them from securing their border and defending their citizens and trying to keep them safe. And then just in the last couple of days, we have a Lebanese illegal who worked for Hezbollah for 7 years, who thankfully was apprehended and said that he was coming to go to New York City to make a bomb. How many like that individual might be among the 2 million gotaways? Not the 8 million who come and surrender to Border Patrol to take advantage of the generous Biden policies, the free housing, the free travel, the free health care, the free social services, the free education, and all the rest. The ones who surrender because the Biden administration takes them in with open arms at taxpayer expense, provides them with benefits that American citizens do not receive, make sure, by the way, that they have their Second Amendment rights in place, as we saw in the state of Illinois just recently. But then there's the 2 million who don't want that and actually pay the cartels more to evade apprehension, to evade encounter with Border Patrol, because these are the criminals. These are the gang members. These are the traffickers of drugs and children and sex trafficking and the ones with the criminal backgrounds. How many more among that 2 million are like that individual from Lebanon, the Hezbollah member who said he wanted to go to New York to make a bomb? And then what's going to happen this Friday? We think it's going to be Friday. We don't have bill text yet. We're going to vote, not myself and my friend from Georgia, but we're going to vote to fund this government, to give this administration billions of dollars more to continue facilitating this very border evasion that we've talked about for these past 3 years. We even heard in a meeting of our own Republican conference this morning that some of our members didn't care when we got the bill text. They didn't care if it was 72 minutes, they said, or 72 hours. They were going to vote for it anyway, irrespective of what the contents might be. They didn't care what it was in it. They didn't care how that estimated $1.2 trillion was going to be spent. They didn't care what the policies were going to be. They just wanted it passed by Friday, I guess so they could go home, I guess so they could go to their fundraisers. And yet we're going to fund this government and these policies that we campaign against. You know, I don't need 72 hours to vote no against a bad bill that doesn't have the policies, doesn't reverse the Biden, Pelosi, Schumer policies under which the American people are suffering. I don't need 72 hours to evaluate that and vote no. But if I was going to vote yes, like some of my colleagues, I might want to actually have 72 hours to know what policies I was owning and that I was responsible for funding before I cast my yes vote. And the last thing I'll just say to my good friend from Georgia, why should we not attach H.R. 2, border security bill? Why, if we're going to fund Chuck Schumer's spending bill, Joe Biden's spending bill, with the policies that we stand against and the spending levels that are $60 billion higher this year, why not at least attach border security to it, H.R. 2, and demand that the Democrats choose between shutting down the border or them choosing to shut down the government because they don't care about the border invasion. And I thank Mr. Clyde for the time, and I yield back to